Hey everybody, welcome to the 28 Days of Copilot Prompts. My name is Akash Trivedi. I'm a cloud solution architect with Microsoft, and it's my pleasure and privilege to be here today in this fantastic initiative to really expand the use cases around Copilot and just kind of show you the power of what it's capable of. So in my example today, I'm focusing on something that happens routinely with a lot of folks in different roles. You're given a task, you need to get more information, and you need to present that to certain individuals. So in this case, I chose the topic of cybersecurity and specifically zero trust architecture. So let's look at that objective and how you would potentially start framing that discovery and as well as the approach to actually brief your leadership. So the objective here is you're given a task to provide a high-level overview and approach to enabling a zero trust architecture. While you might have a good understanding of its importance, you might not be 100% certain where to begin and how to implement. So the way I think about this is when I'm looking at Copilot, how would I start engaging with Copilot naturally and have a conversation to kind of understand how do I get this information and how do I systematically put it into something that will make sense and have a decent approach and have all the relevant materials that would go along with it to make sure that what I'm saying is actually valid and it's proven by different sources. So let's look at that prompt. So again, I'm starting with my objective here. I need to provide a briefing to my leadership in cybersecurity, so it keeps that role and context in mind, about the importance of zero trust and how to start our secure journey by enabling a ZT architecture. I want to crawl, walk, run approach to this so we can start slowly and ramp up as we progress. So again, I'm thinking about it from what can I do now to start and then eventually get better and better and better and ramp up and then eventually go to a run phase where hopefully things are more automated. I want to include basic explanations and principles. I want to include the level of effort of how much effort each individual step might take. And I want to reference the specific Microsoft technologies that can assist in this journey as well. So I'm trying to do a very high level but comprehensive picture of what is zero trust architecture, how would I go about doing that, and of course, at the end, I also want to include all the references that are publicly available. So let's look at what that looks like in Copilot. So I'll go to Teams here. As you can kind of see, I'm in Copilot and I have a work and web tab open. I'm going to go with the web version in this because you might not have all the documentation present in your tenant, or if you do, you might have access to it yourself, but the web certainly does. So let's take that exact prompt that we had and I'll just paste it in here. As you can kind of see, it's the exact same prompt that you saw on the slide, and I'll click go. So now Copilot's like looking at that and formulating it and will provide me a great response. So if you look here, immediately you'll see that, my overall objective is to align leadership with the importance of zero trust. I want a phased implementation, so that crawl, walk, run approach that we saw. And of course, I want to highlight the Microsoft technologies that support this journey, right? So initially, it breaks it down like what is zero trust? What's the best way to kind of understand it? Broken down into 3 different concepts. So verify explicitly, use least privilege access, and assume breach. If I wanted to get more information, here's some of the sources, so I can just go there and get more information. Or I can always ask Copilot to expand on specific areas or topics. From a crawl, walk, run approach, what does the crawl phase look like? So as it kind of sees that, hey, let's look at identity. Let's start enforcing multi-factor authentication. Let's look at conditional access policies, etc. The specific tools that would allow me to do that, like Entra ID, Defender for Identity, etc. And again, more reference materials in the bottom. From that phase, if I start going further into it, the walk phase would be expanding on that pillar. So you're looking at endpoint protection, you're looking at device management, data loss protection, different things like Purview for your data labeling, etc. And again, more information available there. And the run would be that automate and optimize, right? So even though in my mind I wouldn't know what run looks like, but it kind of makes sense if you have your foundations done. So how do you kind of do this in an automated fashion where it's optimizing performance and optimizing your security posture as you go forward? And here's the various tools, right? Sentinel, Defender, XDR, etc. So more information provided there. So while it kind of really completed my task, if I scroll down, it gives me some more details because this is kind of the beauty of the LLM, right? Like, hey, you most logically probably want a table to kind of map these 2 things together. So between identity, you have these tools, endpoints for these tools, applications, data, etc., etc. Again, going down, more references here. And logically, it's actually telling me what are the next steps. So I should align the zero trust as a strategic priority. So get that leadership buy-in to understand like, hey, this is what we're trying to do as an organization. What is the baseline assessment? What are some pilot projects that I can do? What's the roadmap for zero trust, etc. And just kind of thinking through that. So this is the first draft of everything, again, with more sources and citations as well. From here, V2 would be expanding on this and making it into more of a tangible, specific, tactical next step of how would I go about implementing this and conducting this, and potentially even putting it into a PowerPoint brief, right? So you might have seen some other examples. So you can easily take this and run with it and go forward and expand. And that's kind of the beauty of Copilot, is learning about new topics, learning about things that you might already have information of, expanding that knowledge. And so now you're increasing your collaboration, your productivity, and in this case, security as well. So thank you for your time. Looking forward to the next one. So thank you.